You had mentioned to me that you did some acting recently. Do you want to talk
Yes.
about that a little bit?
The movie that's never come out. It's bizarre. I did this film, I think it was a few years ago, 2 years ago, and I auditioned and instead of a small part, I ended up getting a lead role, and it's called Isolation. It's an indie director called Oklahoma Ward, and to this day it still hasn't come out. But it was, the reason I'm crazy, I don't really care about the result because that's not what I did. It was such an amazing process. Like, having a director come, he came and spent probably 12 hours a day, because I'd never acted before, so it was like how to get me out of where I was into the role, into the person, and he spent, I would say, a good month and a half with me before we started shooting, just to get me completely into character and teach me how to do that. And it probably took me 3 months to get out of character. It was a really brilliant role. It was super dark. Every kind of thing you could imagine having to go through: incest, murder, drugs. Like, it was, this girl just went through this horrendous journey in order to reunite with her father, and I'm not going to go into any more detail, but for me it was like really challenging. It was a lot of things that were like, wow, how do you do that? And it was fun because you get to be this other person and go into these dark corridors, and it was really amazing. And before I ever did anything like this, I used to hear stories of people say, well, you know, it's really difficult to take like your work home with you, and I couldn't get out of character, and I'd be like, please, like, okay, sure you couldn't. And it's completely true. It's really brilliant how it gets in your head. And I actually, I'm gonna say this, prefer it to music, because in my next life, definitely want to be an actor, because you don't need all the tools and production and engineers and produce. It's, you know, do a monologue and make someone in front of you cry just with what you've got inside here. That's pretty amazing. So I was surprised at how much I loved it. I'm rambling. I loved it. It was great. I loved it. So
Okay.
we'll see. Maybe it'll come out and I'll get another thing. I never know.
That might be your second career right there.
I know. I'm probably too old now.
So I wanted to just have a fun question here. If you only had one CD on a desert island, which one would it be?
That's a good question. I think if I had one CD, it'd probably be Genesis. I'm
Really?
a huge Genesis fan, Phil Collins, and I grew up, you know, Sister Studio. It would have to be something like that that just could keep giving me great memories, because obviously I'd be stuck on this island, or it'd be something that made me feel great. So it would probably be an old classic album, something like that, yeah.
If you had to sum up your philosophy of life in just one sentence, short and sweet, what would it be?
One sentence?
Yeah.
I could do 3 sentences. One, let's see. Just live to the fullest. That'd be it, live to the fullest.
Cool. Well, hey, thank you so much for being on the Acoustic
No,
Lounge
thank
today.
you. I know I've been trying to do this for a while, and I really appreciate it. My mum is going to die when she sees the acoustic stuff, so thank you. And I hope your listeners and viewers enjoy it. Thank you so much. Last song I'm going to do for you today is off Learning Curve. It's called Humankind, and it was the last song I wrote on the album, and it was, I had this dream, this weird dream, that I was an alien and I'd come down to Earth and everything was just wrong. The atmosphere, nothing was great, but it's really a metaphor for just wanting to leave it all behind and just get the hell out of Dodge, really. So it's called Humankind. I'll leave humankind behind somehow. I'll leave everything to time somehow, somehow. I can't believe you hear me screaming. Ooh. I heart is bleeding. Ooh, can't stand this down sight. And though your love should be redeeming, ooh, I'm not sure if we can make this right. I'll leave humankind behind. Somehow I'll leave everything to time. Somehow, I won't leave. I won't leave us all behind. I won't leave this all behind. Leave this all behind. I won't leave this all behind. Leave this all behind. Tell me now, can I leave this all behind? I wanna leave it all behind. I wanna leave, yeah, no, I wanna leave this all behind. Don't you wanna leave this all behind? Leave this all behind. We've got one dog that flaked out, but Rebel wants to say goodbye. Say, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Say bye-bye. Yeah. Okay, Anna, I love you. There you go. Thanks for having us. Bye. Oh, you enjoyed the lick. Yeah, bye. Okay, bye. You silly boy.